Okay, yeah, we're going.
Ready? Hello and welcome back to episode 5 of Game of Two Halves podcast. I've just realised that Napoli have scored a 3-2 winner, which is disappointing for all of us around here, which, that's frustrating. But anyway, we're back again with our 5th episode. We do have another special guest for you. He is a Man United fan. It's Spencer FC, as we like to call him, around local areas. So how are you feeling today, Spence?
I watched the first 4 episodes. Really liked it. Very happy to be on the podcast. Just want to say shout out Ozan. And yeah, man.
Oh god.
Excited to debate with you boys.
Love that. Love to hear it. So today we will be going through 2 things. It will be a bit of a shorter episode today. We're going to be doing a derby tier list, basing it around Britain. And then an England 11, because we've got a couple of questions about what our preferred England 11 would be for the Euros that are coming up in a couple months. So should we just get straight into it, boys? Fed, Jamie, you all good?
All good, mate. Let's get into it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, all
Fed,
good. All good.
Trim's looking amazing today, just to let you know.
Sure.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and get the screen shared for now. So as you can see, guys, I mean, there are a lot of very irrelevant derbies, or not really irrelevant, but stuff that we just can't really talk about. And I've actually just thought about it on the spot. I say we replace this one that says like Exeter, the thing I'm holding around. I say that we replace that with the Old Firm. So Jamie can get his say in on that. There are some very interesting teams in here.
That's Face's team. I think it was Plymouth and Argyle.
I know. I've been there before. Very emotional for me around the place. So why don't you know what, Jamie? We'll replace this with the Old Firm. So you get started. We've got 5 tiers: hospital trips, scenes on their day is noisy. I get a tin pot. So Jamie, you get started. Pretend that this is the Old Firm.
Right, the Old Firm. By far the biggest derby in probably in Britain, if not Europe, if not the entire world.
No way,
I mean,
the
in
entire
terms
world.
of
Yeah,
Fed-
you're wrong for
Fed
that. You're
is-
wrong for that. You are so wrong for that.
All right. Okay, thank you. I appreciate the input there. Well, fine.
No worries,
I think certainly it's the biggest derby in Britain in terms of the history and in terms of even the fact they aren't the 2 biggest teams in the world. They certainly have the best fan bases, and in terms of how much the game means to the fans and the players, it's just nothing beats it for me. Over the past 10 years, it's been very Celtic dominant, but that is all going to change hopefully in 14 days time away at Parkhead. So for me, it definitely goes into hospital trips.
It is a bit weird.
So weird. Yeah, I've been to now 7 Old Firms across 3 grounds: Ibrox, Parkhead, and Hampden, the National Stadium, and we haven't won once yet, and we've lost or drawn every time. So I'm yet to see the best limbs upon that and the best atmosphere, but still nothing beats it for me.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so why don't we move on to I'll do the Palace Brighton one, the M24 derby as they like to call it.
23.
So I think is the M23?
23, yeah.
M24 doesn't exist.
M137. So what I'm going to do with this one, I obviously think I have seen some absolute limbs go down here at this one. I remember last year. Who was it, Jamie? Again, was it like IU or someone who scored that?
Yeah, IU 1-0 away at the Brighton.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That was mad, and I remember there being absolute scenes in the away end. So for that one, I'm gonna put on their day. It's noisy because I know that I have seen some decent clips of that one. I know there's decent atmosphere. I know both fans bring some good atmosphere, especially Palace. So I'm gonna put the M123 derby into on their day. It's noisy. Spencer, I'll come to you for this one. We'll do Birmingham v Villa. This was a game where Jack Grealish got knocked around the head by a random fan a couple of seasons ago and then proceeded to score a winner. Where are you putting this one?
I mean, for me, Villa is such a big club, and Birmingham's fans, some of them are just absolutely ballistic. So I'm struggling on whether it's scenes or on their day it's noisy. I'm thinking more of the scenes because of the Grealish.
Okay.
I
think everyone can probably agree with you. So yeah, we'll do that.
I think I'm gonna go scenes.
Fred, Sunderland, Newcastle, the Wearside derby.
Good one.
Go for it.
Very noisy. Shame that Sunderland are in League One. This game hasn't happened in quite some time now, but it's very good. It's solid. You see people flying about all over the place, and yeah, two very well respected clubs. So I'm gonna put it in scenes. I don't think we can really argue with that. Very solid derby.
Nice. All right, Jamie. Some people don't really. I mean, they're basically on the same road here. This derby. I didn't really know it was a derby until a couple of years ago. Obviously, I put Fulham in. My mum's kitchen creates better atmosphere on the home atmosphere. So maybe that will kind of relate to what you think of this derby. I'm not sure, but it's your opinion. So Chelsea v Fulham.
Yeah, not the most historic derby because the teams have always had the disparity between the levels. Chelsea have been obviously always top of the table and up in the European places, and Fulham have always been down below in their corner of the table. So never has it really been up there with the best. I think Chelsea certainly have better derbies that have been established over the past 20 years. So being honest, I've got to put it in quiet. I think certainly it doesn't really. I think Chelsea's definitely got better derbies than Fulham, but I feel like in theory it's our main one, and if it's our main one, it's going to go into quiet because there's never been that that like proper intense feeling of derby there.
Nice. I'll do this one. Manchester United v Liverpool. I'll let Spencer do the Manchester derby. And I think with this one, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but I think this game has better atmosphere than the actual Manchester derby. I think when you watch, Liverpool create better atmosphere than City.
Fully agree.
Obviously,
Fully agree.
And then tie it with the Manchester United fans. I think this game always provides a lot of incredible moments over the years, especially. I know this is a very historic match. I think this goes further back to the Manchester derby, which everyone kind of calls like the tourist derby now. So I think this one has obviously a lot of history. It's got some incredible results across the years. And yeah, I think it will just continue to keep up that record. So I'm actually going to put this one in scenes. I'm not going to put it in hospital trips because I think with these two teams, I don't think you get as much atmosphere as you do with the old firm. But I think because of the history, I think you have to put it in this. Right. So then we've got this is West Brom Wolves, the Black County derby. Fed, I'll go to you for this one. West Brom Wolves.
Very decent derby on its day. I think Jamie, you said you saw one of these games, or you might have seen one of these games sometime, something like that. But they do turn up, West Brom fans as well as Wolves fans. It's a very, very decent derby overall. Two teams in the Prem as well. Yeah, I'm gonna put this on their day / scenes, but probably I'd put it on their day. I'll put it on their day.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to probably rethink my Manchester United Liverpool in terms of I may have named the top one kind of wrong in terms of hospital chips. I think just because of history, I think you can't put these guys alongside like Sunderland and Newcastle. So for the Northwest derby, I'll probably put them up. Jamie, I think you have to say I don't think I'm not calling them a hospital chip derby or that people are going to get killed. I'm just saying that when you talk about history and what these two sides have like done together in terms of what they've created for the Premier League, I think they're the two clubs with one of the biggest history. I think you have to put them at the top.
I'm sorry. Birmingham Villa and the time where Derby would eat out the Northwest. I mean, just Villa and Birmingham City.
Villa
you can't focus it just on atmosphere. It doesn't just
Sam. I'm not.
I think scenes is fine for that.
No, yeah, obviously, yeah. Manchester United and Liverpool are the two biggest clubs in the country, and for that reason, that is probably the best derby on paper. However, if we're talking about a proper derby where everything goes onto that pitch and nothing is left behind, I think it stays. Well, the thing is, I don't want to disrespect the Birmingham or the Newcastle derbies because I think both in their way they're sick. But I
I
guess
think,
yeah,
but there's,
by talent, of course, yeah, it's the best. But
that's what I'm kind of leading along the lines of, as well as it being everyone's leaving on the pitch. There's also a sense of quality within these two things. You always get a sick game instead of just.
Yeah, that's definitely one.
I think you always get a sick game with these two teams. Like I think everyone does go for it. Like I see, like, Liverpool fans are belting out "You'll Never Walk Alone." United fans are belting out whatever they're singing in the corner or something. I think just genuinely because of the history and because of the players that have played in it, for Manchester United and for Liverpool, I think you have to put this at the top. I just do.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree because I think it has to go hospital trips. I'm not sure if it's the perfect name for it, but I just think I think it's I think the derby has slowly gotten a bit worse as the years have grown. I think just because Liverpool have just become that much better than United recently. But I think, like, if you think about like the Neville Carragher days, like those were like very intense derbies. Under Ferguson, it was always a big game for us. Yeah. I think it has to be one of the biggest derbies in England. So I think it has to go on hospital trips.
I agree. Right, we'll move on. Spencer, why don't you do I don't know if you know much about this one, but why don't you do Portsmouth v Southampton, which is actually quite a big derby. No, they are in different leagues.
Yeah, no, I know. I think I know a bit about this one. I know that these two fan bases like absolutely hate each other. I know that it's very intense. I know there's names thrown around. I'm not sure if they're appropriate names that I can say on this podcast, but for this one, I think just because the pure fact that Southampton have been in the Premier League for so long, Portsmouth were in the Premier League and now they're back down. I think I'm going to have to put this on their day. It's noisy, but I think that answer might change if Portsmouth were in the Premier League.
I think that's a completely perfect answer. Fed, you go for, or no, are we on? I think we're on Jamie. Jamie, you go for Merseyside derby, Liverpool v Everton.
Yeah, it's tougher to think about because in terms of the recent years, obviously apart from this year at Anfield, it's been heavily it's been heavily dominant by Liverpool at both Goodison and at Anfield. It's slightly difficult because again, it's one for history. Neighbours, very very close grounds, very very nearby, and yeah, they both have got incredible teams, and always have done. In terms of if we could rank them up at the very top, it's difficult, but I think if we're looking at the way that we're categorizing these teams, we've got to look at Man U Liverpool to be better than this Merseyside derby, and if we're basing it off that, then we're going to go and put them in scenes, I reckon.
All right, nice one. Fed, this one's a big one, mate. I know this one causes some absolute. This definitely causes hospital trips, absolute limbs, literally broken limbs as well. This one, West Ham v Millwall, the Den.
Wow.
Especially Upton Park. This was a cracker.
Listen. This is literally the definition of a hospital trip. You'll get at least about 50 hospital trips of this. Just dangerous. It's just proper old school derby. Absolutely, yeah. It's incredible. So for that reason, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Slap it in hospital trip.
Right up there. Nice stuff. All right. Well, this landed pretty well because we've skipped quite a lot of the teams that we feel like we would be kind of lying to ourselves if we put them in like the things that we think they are, because we might be just getting them wrong. So, Spencer, Manchester derby. What are you feeling about this one, mate? I know there have been some absolutely cracking results in the past. It was like the whole, Ferguson created some absolute memories for the Red Devils to this game. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely been some wild games. I mean, I'm thinking about the Paul Pogba game, thinking about the Rooney bicycle kick game. I'm thinking about 6-1 on Fergie's birthday, sadly. Why always me? Like I'm a bit biased, but I think that the one thing that kind of holds this derby back a bit is the City fan base. I mean, it's such a classic joke to talk about City having no fans, but I do think compared to teams like, like Liverpool, Everton, like that great rivalry, like City's fans sometimes aren't always on par. But I do think that I'm gonna put on their day it's noisy, because I think there's certain days like the games I mentioned where it's absolute scenes, but then there's days like, for instance, the result this year there was no fans there, but it was 0-0, one of the most boring games I've seen. So I think it has to go on their day it's noisy.
Wow, that's a statement. I think people probably agree, maybe even disagree with you. We'll finish off. I'll go for the North London derby. And honestly, guys, not just being an Arsenal fan, being biased, but I think this is one of the most underrated derbies there's been. And I think you always get a sick game out of these two teams. I think both teams, it's weird because this is the game that I describe as, it doesn't matter what form you've got before going into this game. We could be in League One. We turn up for this game. We could have lost 9 on the bounce. We would turn up for this game, and it goes vice versa. Spurs will be the same. I don't think I've ever seen the Emirates shake more, rock more, and be as loud as when we were playing them when Torreira scored the 4-2 winner. I'm not just being biased to Arsenal. I think Spurs create an incredible atmosphere. It's not like the Manchester derby where Spencer mentioned you get Man United fans who are crazy. The City fan base kind of drag it down. Both teams absolutely love this game and are so passionate about it. Like I feel so heated inside when we lose this game, and I think that's with every Arsenal fan, and same with Spurs when they lose. The quality on the pitch, we've had some incredible results in the past couple of years, especially as it also goes down to history where we won the league at White Hart Lane, one of the most historic games in Arsenal history. The 4-2 game at the Emirates was incredible, as well as many games where Aubameyang missed the penalty at the end. This game is just defines drama, and I think it could be controversial if I put it in hospital trips or like the GOAT tier. So that's why I will put it in scenes. But I feel like if there was a little category in between both, I'd put them in there. But I will put them in scenes because I don't think it goes up to the standards of the other three. So that kind of finishes off. Apologies to anyone watching if your team is on here. I feel a bit bad for Leeds. I didn't even if you are a Leicester fan as well and your rivalry is here as well, we do apologise. We just don't really trust ourselves with kind of just talking about them because
there's a lot of derbies on the screen that you got to respect that we haven't put.
And if anyone wants to drop in,
the Sheffield derby, Norwich v Ipswich. That's a pretty big derby as well. Also, Derby v Forest.
Forest
Derby is such a huge game. So
Fed, do you want to quickly touch on that one? Do you want to quickly go Forest Derby?
Forest Derby, I'd put it. I mean, I know a couple Forest fans, and they share like a real hatred against Derby. Wish the worst upon them. And so I mean I think it's a very good derby, very well respected. I'm gonna put it on their day it's noisy. I feel like
I've actually got a point to make. One time earlier, actually, me and Sam were playing football earlier this summer, and I was wearing an old Rangers shirt, and this random lady came up to me before I got in the car, and said, "Sorry, sir, is that a Derby shirt?" Because she was kitted in a Forest kit. I mean, from hats to scarf to whatever. Even though it's summer, she was wearing the full attire, jeans, shoes and everything, gloves, whatever it was, and she was just running. And thought I was wearing a Derby shirt and nearly wanted to punch me. I was about to get into my car with Sam, and she was so passionate about what apparently what she thought I was wearing that she almost like punched me. And honestly, it just shows the
That's great. Jamie, do you remember though when you were we were in the car, little Nottingham Forest fan drive by, Jamie up on the window, little scoreline for you. He goes around, he sees it again, he comes towards our car, he's like, reel down the window. What do you say to me? What do you say to me? The Uber driver got very annoyed.
Lesson learned: never mess with drunk fans from the Midlands.
From the Midlands,
even Chelsea and Forest. I've got no rivalry, but we beat them in the FA Cup last year, and I thought, right, a game is over. He's drunk. He's chanting Forest, Forest. I was like, right, mate, And I went in and he was just starting.
Never good. No. All right. Well, we'll move on. So hopefully, if you need your screenshot, go ahead. Absolutely burn us if you feel like maybe Spencer was a bit too harsh on United and City, or if I went too far up with United, Liverpool, or something like that. So yeah, why don't we stop there?
You got to remember that instead of that Grimsby v Plymouth derby, I think it was.
Grimsby.
You got to replace that with Rangers v Celtic before you
It's
screenshot
Exeter.
it.
Take
it in.
You do have to replace that with the Rangers derby. We don't know anything about the Exeter Plymouth game. Honestly, we were absolutely clueless. So, boys, Fed, why don't you run us through what we're going to do finally to end it off?
Right. So, hot topic right now: England's team for the Euros, because there's so much good talent in there. And so the question is, who's going to miss out? Because a couple of players, very high class, top quality players, are inevitably going to have to miss out on the tournament, which is a shame. But it's good, very good at the same time, because I think this might be a bit of a golden generation. You see the players who are coming through, and it's so impressive to see the players that England have, and I mean they are top class players. Some of these
Fed
players. So yeah, I think we should go.
Fed, why don't you, so what we're gonna do? Right. What we're gonna do is everyone's gonna name their England team very quickly. I do not want a Mason Mount Jamie backstory on his parents, on his dog and his cat. I just want a straight England 11 so we can get through this. Everyone, listen to what everyone said. Just a 4-3-3-ish, 3-4-3 kind of formation you can go with. And then we'll reconcile at the end and see what we can probably combine everyone's in. I think maybe Jamie, why don't you just start off with the longest? you go first.
Should we do it by position or should we do the whole team at once?
Maybe what we do is I think maybe we just go really quickly through positions. Jamie, just say who you've got in goal, and then we'll just kind of do a little vote. Whoever gets the most votes goes through.
Yeah. So in goal, definitely England's well position. Not blessed with many keepers at all.
Boys, I like to say that I think Livingston have just scored. This might harm Rangers' title. Also might have harmed Jamie quite a lot. His whole wall may have just been destroyed.
What's happened, Jamie? Give us an update.
No, nothing happened. No, it's fine. Sorry. So in goal, not England's best position at all. They are scrambling clearly. And I've gone and put in my team Dean Henderson. I can't put Pickford in there, and Pope's just too inconsistent for me. But I feel like Henderson needs to get some first team football. And if he does, I think he's definitely the number one for me.
Spencer, who do you put in goal?
You see, I'm a United fan, and I'm going to go Nick Pope. I think last year Pope was very, very solid. I still think he's a great goalkeeper. And I mean, I personally rate Henderson. I don't think there's anything wrong with him. Don't have a problem with the Henderson pick. I just think Pope's size, I think he's just a great goalkeeper. So I think Pope's got to be in there.
Nice. Fed?
Yeah, agreed completely. I've put down Nick Pope. You got to think about the team he's playing around. Maybe that might be at fault why he concedes a lot of goals, but he's a good keeper. He's shown that. Lacks a bit of consistency, as Jamie said, but I think it comes down to game time. Dean Henderson hasn't got much game time really. And yeah, for me, that's the difference maker. So I've gone and put Nick Pope as England's number one.
I've actually put Pickford in. I think we'll go with Pope because we've got 2 votes to 1 and 1. I put Pickford in simply because I think his performances are improving. I think he's making bigger saves for Everton. I think he's got experience with the lot. He knows. I think Rangers have scored. But we'll carry on. I think he's got a lot of experience with the lot. I think he knows the players. I think he knows the team. I think he has good chemistry, and I think he knows how to perform during these big competitions. such as the World Cup as we saw in
Yeah,
2018.
agreed. I
but-
think with on when he's on international duty, he turns into a different player. So yeah,
But
that's fair enough.
what we'll do is we'll go with Pope. Fed and Spencer both picked him. So Pope is our goalkeeper for our overall England team. I think Jamie is celebrating a goal that just got scored by Rangers here.
Sort him out.
He's very
Honestly,
happy.
he needs help.
Yeah, we'll go to the right back position. Jamie, please calm down because we want to get through our England team. And yeah, so Spencer, what did you go with at right back?
Like there's the news obviously that came out this week that looks like Wan-Bissaka is not going to choose England. And I think for me, he hasn't been good this year. I think he's a large reason on why his team Liverpool struggled so much. But I think at the end of the day, I think Trent is the best right back that England have. And I think one thing with Southgate teams which we've seen is they really have been quite boring and very defensive. And I think Trent gives that little aspect that he can whip a ball in. Hopefully Harry Kane's up top, header it in. I think Trent would be really good for this position. And yeah, I think I gotta go Trent.
Cool. Jamie, are you fine? Do we need like a heart monitor on you?
And honestly, I'm fine. What we do right back?
Right back.
Yeah, certainly England's probably most stacked position. I mean, I can name you 7 or 8 that could easily get on any national team. However, England are obviously wanting the best of the best. I think obviously, if you asked me 6 months ago, Trent is the first name on the team sheet. But what we've seen this year is that we're just seeing a new person. And currently, off his current form, he doesn't make the first team for me at the minute. I think Southgate would love to play Reece James because I feel like Reece James is probably the most well-rounded right back probably currently in the country. However, I don't think he'll do that just yet. And I do think he'll play Kyle Walker just because of his pace. And I do believe that Kyle Walker could also be considered to be a centre-back in a back three if Southgate does feel defensive or to go and play wing-back. So I think Walker brings the best out of,
Cool. I've gone with Trent as well. I think overall his game is very good, and I think he can be backed up depending on Southgate if he plays a back three and plays Trent as like a right midfielder or a right wing back. I think Trent, as Spencer said, can really whip in a ball. I think he's England's most dangerous crosser on the team. I think he brings an amazing attacking threat. He can combine with players like Henderson in the middle. They can really combine well, and also whoever Southgate plays at the right wing position. I think they combine well, and I think Trent can really create overlaps for that England team. So I've put Trent in at right back. Fed.
I've also gone with Trent. Despite a pretty tough season this year, he showed that he's statistically a very good player, providing goals and assists last season in Liverpool's title win. He's a good player. He's a very, very good player. Obviously, we always say that form is temporary, class is permanent. He's a young lad. He'll have a couple ups and downs in his career, but I think it's a no-brainer to go for Trent, despite obviously there being the likes of Walker and stuff who's played quite well. But you've got to think that what Trent has done, corner taken quickly, Origi moment, stuff like that. It just shows why he's such an incredible player, Champions League winner, Premier League winner. Yeah, so for that reason, I'm gone for Trent.
All right, so Trent will go in our team. James ain't going to my team, unfortunately, Jamie. So yeah, our 2 centre backs. Why don't we go with the pair? Spencer, get us started on this one. What do you reckon for our 2 CBs?
The first one, I'm sure most of us will agree on this. I think John Stones. I mean, can't deny.
Can everyone put him in? Can we all put him in at the 1 centre back? Is everyone agree with
back that? Yeah,
perfect. All
right,
cool.
Stones has been fabulous this year. Huge part for City's success. The second one, he's been criticized a lot this year. Maybe I'm a tiny bit biased, but I think Harry Maguire has to go in the team. And I think at the end of the day,
agreed.
Has he been worth 80 million? Probably not, but I think he's been quite a good center back. And I think he's been switching between Lindelof and Bailly. Bailly's been getting injured quite often. And I think Lindelof's one of the worst center backs in the league. That's a different conversation. But I really think Maguire holds down the fort well. And I think, especially for England, he can pose a massive threat off corners. So I think Maguire has to be in the team.
I think I'll completely make you. I think you make a very valid point there. I think Southgate, what I've actually heard about Southgate is he actually likes to take inspiration off different sports when he does things like corner. So he likes to I remember him saying this. He went to the Atlanta Super Bowl to see what offensive plays were like. Me and Jamie know that Super Bowl very well. I actually saw him in guys, quick story for you if this goes viral, because I'll tell you what, if this ever goes viral, Southgate is completely exposed, because I was on Virgin Atlantic with him and he got stuck in the toilet for like 2 hours. He couldn't get out. The lock broke, honestly. So Southgate, if you're hearing this, I apologize, but you still turn me on because football's not going to come home again, because Boris is not going to allow it. So yeah, I'm gonna put. I agree with Spencer. I put Harry Maguire at centre back. There was slabhead. Hope he doesn't get arrested this time. What he might get arrested for here is for his criminal defensive tackles. Criminal, not really the best one we've ever played. Money can't buy us stones. So here we go. We've got Harry Maguire and John Stones for me. I think Fed, you said I agree to Spencer with Maguire. So have you put in Maguire?
Yeah, I've gone for Maguire and Stones. Yeah,
perfect.
I'll agree with Spencer. Yeah,
Lovely.
I think it was
Jamie?
a no-brainer to put Stones in after the season he's having.
Have dropped points today. That's big for them.
Good for Arsenal, by the way, making the hunt back for the league.
Yeah, no, mate, you're focusing more on the
focusing on relegation.
Point. Yeah.
So Jamie, what do you think?
Listen, I'm not going to say much apart from the fact that I'm almost going to completely. We're going to win the league, boys. Come on. What a man, Stevie G, you are. Oh, my God. Brilliant. Right. I'm almost going to mirror exactly what Spencer said in terms of Stones. Definitely the first pick in the team sheet right now. His form's been incredible. And hopefully this year we'll have trophies to back that up. And then Harry Maguire. If Henderson is to miss out due to injury, I believe Maguire is the biggest leader in that team, and I believe that he can command from the back. Yeah.
Nice. We'll go to left back. I've put in Bukayo Saka as our left back. I think that may stir some debate. I know Luke Shaw may be coming out of a lot of people's mouths, but listen, hear me out, right? I think if you're looking at a Southgate team, I think you're looking at really quick and technical players. And I don't think Shaw brings the technicality to that team, whereas I think Saka does. And I think it would be, I don't think Saka can fit in this right wing team or left wing team, which is what Southgate is playing. And I think you need to put Saka in the starting 11. Like if you're going to put people like Foden, people like maybe Mount or Madison or any of those young players, I think you have to start Saka. And I know Spencer might like turn up to my house in like 5 minutes and like hack me down with an axe, but I put Saka. Spencer has put Luke Shaw, and I don't think there's any debate with what Spencer's about to put.
Yeah, man. I've put Luke Shaw in. I'd say the one thing about Saka, for starters, I don't think he's a left back anymore. I know he played there a bit last year. I think he's cemented himself as a winger, though. I think also, surprisingly enough, with the team we've chosen for England, it seems quite attacking so far, just at the back. I think we chose Trent. So I don't think you can have Trent and Saka as the two fullbacks. I think it leaves Maguire and Stones way too isolated. I think you have to put Luke Shaw in too. I think he's been the best left back this year. He's whipped in across. He can whip in across. He can defend well. I generally think Luke Shaw's been excellent this year. I think it's very tough for me to leave him out, and I think he's got to start, and I think he will start, to be honest.
All right, nice. Fed and Jamie. Fed.
Right. I've gone for Saka, even though Spencer does make a good point that he might not be playing there much at Arsenal. I remember he got picked up for England once, and he played there, and he played quite well. I just think such an incredible talent, such an incredible player, has really showed what he's all about, and he's up there for Young Player of the Year for the Premier League. And I think he's got to go in that national side. He's really proved it for Arsenal, and he's been the light that no one thought was going to be so powerful. Just a young lad, and he's playing so well. So yeah, I've gone for Saka.
Jamie?
How you put Saka in the team, I will never understand. I mean, listen, he's probably the second choice right winger for me, but because I think he's definitely a class player. But he's not a left back. That's why
I'm not calling him a left back though. I think I'm calling him like a bit of a wing back. I think he's a good wing back.
Yeah, fine then. That's why I mentioned Walker could play as a back three, because you can go and then play Saka. And then like
it just depends on what you want to go with.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're playing a back four, you can't play Saka. I think I'd love to go and put in Chilwell, but he isn't going to have the minutes right now. Again, this team could change in about 2 months' time. But I've gone with Luke Shaw. We put him in our most unrated 11 last week because of I think he has the 7th most key passes in the league from left back, which is above Robertson last year, above like Trent, and above half the midfielders in the league. So I think Luke Shaw actually offers quite a lot to this team, and I think he could definitely be there. However, I'd be interested to see if Southgate were to go and put a right back at left back because of how many right backs we have at the country. I mean, not we, England. I'm not English. Thank you.
Right, yeah, I think we'll probably go then with Luke Shaw. I think that's probably everyone's kind of desired pick. I think Saka, depending on if you play a 3, I think Saka's probably more suitable left wing back, just totally getting forward. I think yeah, we can all agree that maybe Shaw is better in a flat 4. So we've got all 3 centre mids at once. I've gone with the experienced player, and I've gone with kind of 2 young players. Sorry, I've gone with Henderson if he's fit. That's if Henderson's fit. I'm not basing this on anything. At the moment, I'm just saying. At the moment, I think Henderson. I think what he brings is a lot of leadership. He brings a really good amount of leadership to this England team, and that's what they need. They need that guy who's going to encourage, inspire, and lead their team to a semi-final, maybe even a final in the Euros. And I think everyone's seen clips of Jordan Henderson playing for Liverpool and what he tells his players. Because when you're in tournaments like this, where it's do or die once you reach the knockout stages, you need a guy who's gonna lead your team. And I think maybe Stones and Maguire as centre backs don't really bring that much leadership, because as we can see at United, it's kind of Bruno leading the charge. But I think Henderson can really encourage the guys, especially the young guys. I've gone with him. I've gone with James Maddison in my 3 as well. I think James Maddison has been exceptional this season. I think he's been absolutely brilliant, and I think the numbers that he's put up have been incredible. I think he's a really dedicated player. As we can see, he aims to be one of the best midfielders in the Prem at the moment. I think he is, despite him potentially having a knock. And the third one, I've actually gone for Declan Rice. I've gone for Declan Rice. The reason being is that I think he's been really consistent. I think you have to base it around the fact that he's in a West Ham team who've done so well this season. And I think he's been really, really good. He's got a good shot on him. I think he's very hardworking. I think he can pass the ball well. And I think he can link up with a lot of the front 3 as well. So I've put Declan Rice and Henderson as my 2 kind of pivot roles. Maddison just ahead of them. Spencer, what are you feeling?
I was thinking about Henderson, but I think just with the injury, I mean, he'll be out for 11 more weeks or so. I don't think you can put him in the team, even if he's back. I'm not sure he'll be 100% healthy. I think Rice has been excellent this year. I personally really like Rice, so I'm going to put Rice CDM. I agree with you with Maddison, but I think it's criminal that you leave Jack Grealish out of the team. I think he's been excellent this year. I think one of the best.
Or have I?
Another winger's fault. I think he's got to go center mid. Quickly though, I think Jamie talked about maybe a fullback playing a different position. I think Trent could potentially play center mid role, but that's just a thought.
Fed?
Right, I'm gonna go for. So I'm playing like a DM, with like two attacking midfielders. So a DM, I've gone for Declan Rice, outstanding season, huge part for West Ham's success. so far this season. They're doing really well. And then I think I cannot believe how no one's mentioned Phil Foden. Like, how has no one mentioned
in a
him?
three,
I don't even
in
know.
a three, in a midfield
Yeah.
three. Wow.
Yeah, I'm putting him. I'm playing two. I'm playing Rice deep with like two cams. Or if England want to go for like a more holding midfield, or more like box to box midfielders, Jude Bellingham's a shout. And also Jordan Henderson.
You're
Maybe that
naming the
I've
whole
missed
England
out.
squad. Pick your three, mate.
But then I've also gone for Jack Grealish, just outstanding player. So I've gone for Rice, Foden, and Grealish.
Jamie?
Yeah, Southgate has been known to be playing some very defensive players like Eric Dyer, like Ward-Prowse. But I think Henderson's injury is going to be, unfortunately, too tough to bring back. And I do hope that there's not much experience in this current side. So as my holding DM, I've put Declan Rice, and I believe once he gets some more experience and some discipline into his game, he'll be unreal. And then as my kind of like two box to boxes, I've gone with Jack Grealish. Work rates are impeccable. Would die for his country and his team, and he's actually very talented. And then next, the captain of the team is Mason Mount. Certainly going to be the most influential player this summer. Very underrated by all. And I believe that he just brings that bit of passion and a bit of spice to the team that needs a bit of attacking and defensive behaviour. And I believe that he has everything you want from a centre mid.
All right, nice. I think those are all very valid threes. I'll go with my front three and we'll wrap it up there. Fed. So with the front three, I've gone with Phil Foden as a right winger. That's where he plays for City. That's where he's been most deadly for them as well. I think he scored that goal against. I think he had like his best performance against Liverpool, where he was on the right. So do not worry, Fed. I have put in Phil Foden in the England team. Unfortunately, that means I have had to drop Sterling and Greenwood because I'm putting Kane up front. Obviously, I think I would get speared across the side of my head if I had not put Harry Kane in. Chances goals. And then I've put Rashford at left wing for us. I think Rashford has to start. I think he's been really good for England. I think he's been amazing for United. But honestly, I see him get so much hate after United games just because he hasn't scored. But Jamie, I think, was the man who named it really perfectly last week. I think he was the guy who said Rashford would get 8 chances in the game and he'd finish 2 of them, even though those 8 chances would be really good, showing that he actually scores goals, which I think Jamie was completely right about. So I've put Rashford, Kane, and Phil Foden as my front three. Also, it's an interesting one because if there's a special mention I'd want to give right now, it'd probably be to Jadon Sancho because of his form recently at Dortmund. I think he's been absolutely superb. But just in terms of what we've seen from the Prem and what we've seen from the youngsters, I've put in Foden, Kane, and Rashford, even though I think Sancho deserves a spot as well if we could have a 12th man. Fed, go ahead.
Right. So I think as my wingers, I have missed out Rashford, but I'd like to give him a special mention. I've gone and put Sterling and Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho putting up really, really impressive numbers for Dortmund, absolutely tearing it up with Erling Haaland, and he's been so consistent there for a couple of years now. And there was talk about big money move to United, never really materialized, but he's such a good and talented player, incredible to watch with that pace and skill down that right flank. So I think that's a no-brainer for the England team. Then Raheem Sterling, just a consistent player. Like you talked about, the problem with Rashford is obviously he's incredible. Definitely first name on the sub bench, but thing is with Rashford, you said like he'll get 8 chances, he'll only score 2. Sterling, he's consistent, he'll finish those. Good in front of goal, quick. T-Rex running style, debatable, but that he's just a very good player. And then up top, I think he's the captain as well. Harry Kane, just first name on the team sheet. He'll get you goals. He'll get you assists now. He gives you a lot. So such an important player for that England team.
Cool. Jamie, go ahead.
Yeah, right. Starting off on the point at left winger, where Fed put in Sterling over Rashford. I've gone the other way and put Rashford over Sterling because Fed, what you said there is Sterling's more consistent. And if I'm looking at this, is Sterling will give you a 6, 7 out of 10 every single match he plays in. He never drops below that, but rarely ever goes above that. Fair to say. Whereas Rashford is more consistent, but however, he gives you the 10s, but also the 4s. But I believe if England, let's say, are playing France in the World Cup final, you need a 10 out of 10 from every player. And I believe Rashford will be the man to bring that over Sterling because he has that in him to just, he has the extra bit of pace, the extra bit of dribbling. And I believe that he will be the one to I look at Rashford and think Rashford is a game changer. It's like comparing Salah and Mane. Mane is the more consistent one, but Salah is the game changer out of the two. So I've gone with Rashford. On the left, up front, I've gone with Kane. I can imagine Kane obviously not being the fastest out the front three. I believe I can almost imagine like Kane like sitting in and playing as like a false nine, almost like feeding off the other two, and let Rashford and the other winger playing behind with their pace, because I believe that Kane is going to be a big rock up front. But I think it'll be interesting to see if Kane gets rested at all, or even injured, because I can easily see Rashford go 9 and then bring Sterling in, or Foden left. And then right winger, as Sam mentioned, it's always one overlooked because of the league he plays in. Like I'm guessing our average viewer doesn't watch too much of the Bundesliga. So I obviously do, luckily. So I definitely can go and put Jadon Sancho as my right winger. Again, I believe that his skill, his pace, and actually his finishing has been really improved recently. And I can just see him working with Kane as a pair to work with, because he knows what Haaland's playing like. So I think I can imagine like that link up being really good. So yeah, I've got my Rashford, Kane, and Jadon Sancho as my front three.
All right. Well, last one. Go on, Spencer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to say too much. I have the same exact front three as Jamie. I think he summed up everything really well. The one thing I would say, though, is I think Kane will need to rest a bit. He's always had that injury concern. And I think that's where you need Vardy to come in. Because
Vardy's retired. Spencer.
Has he retired, actually?
I know. He's been retired for ages, mate. He's been retired for 4 years. Everyone, that's why you don't see him for England. I know. I completely
really.
agree, but...
Well, I mean,
I think you got to bring it on DCL. It's got to be DCL off the bench. DCL off the bench.
Yeah. Because I just don't think
getting in this league.
I don't think Rashford can play up top anymore. He's played there a bit for United. It hasn't been great. But I think you got to put Rashford over Sterling. But yeah, Rashford, Kane, Sancho.
Nice. So what we'll kind of go with out of like the midfielders, I think we all like Declan Rice. So we'll put Rice in there. I think Grealish was mentioned by Spencer and Jamie, so we'll put Grealish in that front three, as well as I'm pretty sure we'll put in Foden in that three as well.
Yeah.
No,
Mason Mount. Yeah. Sorry.
Put Mason Mount.
No Mount. Just make that clear.
And then right wing, we'll go Sancho, Kane up front, Rashford on the left. Is our England 11. So I know Spencer has got a Man United game to catch, so we will leave it there. And then we may have gone slightly over time, but don't worry, it's just more time for you to enjoy it and to really take in all the emotion that we portrayed for you on the field. I think we have left it all on the pitch today. For you guys, thank you, Spencer, for coming on. Rangers have got their 3 points. Me and Ved have got a Milan game to catch as well. Spencer, thank you very much for joining us. You like that one, mate? Yeah,
no, thank you boys so much for having me on. It was great.
Of course, mate. Any time of the week except Friday, me and Jamie are actually have something booked in at your restaurant. Yeah. Good. Ooh, maybe after Boris. Fed, mate. No, I'm joking. We don't have to have Fed again with Boris. But yeah, Spencer, thank you for joining us, and we will see you again. This hopefully should be up very shortly, maybe on around, where are we? So maybe tomorrow night or Friday morning. So we will catch
Big
you
game
next
tomorrow
one.
night, boys. Big game tomorrow night.
Big game. I think it might be Shakhtar playing in a massive one tomorrow. So Jamie will be catching to that one. Liverpool, Chelsea. Sorry, mistaken there. So we can all see if Mount is really worth that England place. So.
I got him that for his birthday, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Add that in
Happy
there.
birthday. Happy birthday to Jamie, who just had his birthday. No one cares
Yeah,
anymore. Jamie got
he
so
had his
much
birthday on
Lovely,
Monday.
So we don't care.
And do you know what the funniest thing is? Is that, you know, that giveaway video you did yesterday? No one commented
it.
No one commented on the giveaway.
No one commented. Yeah,
well, actually,
no
luckily,
one's commented.
I
so
do have 2 new programs.
listen, for future giveaways, or if you even want to win that last program, comment. You know, do the business.
I do have 2 more from the Europe game.
All right. Well, Spence has got a game in about 5 minutes to watch, so we will go let him do that. But thank you for joining us, everyone. Leave what you want to get from us in the comment section below, and like and subscribe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, guys. Thank you.